Westplex 107.1. It is BS in the morning. I am B. She is S. And you know what? Another crazy thing coming down from the government. I don't quite understand.
What's that?
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me what's going on.
Okay. None of it makes any sense to me, but what are you specifically talking about?
Well, the reason, that we're on at the time we're on right now.
Because of what's going on in the world, Brad?
No. What the governor did is that for whatever reason, he's put us on Mountain Standard Time. It's
what?
We're on Mountain Standard Time right now. It's
no, he didn't.
Yeah, it's 6:10 Mountain Standard Time. Because of the fact that
I get what you're doing. Because somebody took a little nap.
For whatever reason, last night he just changed state of Missouri. Instead of being in Central Daylight Savings Time, we're now in Mountain Daylight Savings Time.
No, we're on Brad time.
No.
Welcome to Brad World, everybody.
We're on
Come on in. The weather's great.
No, we're on Mountain Standard Time. No, Mountain Daylight Savings Time right now. Yeah, it's 6:11 in Mountain Daylight Savings Time. Mm-hmm. You don't believe me?
Good morning, sunshine. Is it time to make the donuts?
The crazy thing. Talk about time for a minute, okay?
Time is so fleeting.
No, I still say my idea about, there's this goofy thing about Illinois talking about, like, we're not going to go on daylight savings time, or no, they're going to stay on daylight savings time year round. So in other words, there would be like during right now we would be in the same time as Illinois if they made this change. But if when it comes to us to fall back in the fall, we would be on a different time than Illinois. So when you cross between, St. Louis and Alton, and St. Louis and East St. Louis, and St. Louis and Columbia, Illinois, you'd go like, okay, we're a different time now. And I say what Missouri should go to is just go to Greenwich Mean Time. And that way we would be ahead of everybody, because we are right now minus 5 GMT. GMT is the universal time that everybody uses. That's what military uses. They call it Zulu time. And that is the time, it is at 0 meridian, which is Greenwich, England. And that's the 0 meridian. And we are essentially at the 90th meridian. By the way, little trivia fact that my father turned me on to is that the 90th meridian goes right through the campus of SIU Edwardsville. And I don't know if they still call it anymore. They used to have this building called the Religious Center. And the Religious Center was literally built on the 90th meridian. I mean, the half of the building was on one side of the 90th building, or the 90th meridian, and the other side was on the 90th meridian. And if you know what I'm talking about, when you give latitude and longitude, latitude is the distance away from the 0 meridian, which is 90 degrees. In other words, we're a quarter way around the world. And longitude, yes, and latitude is north and south. So when you give latitude, longitude, that's what you're doing. You're giving points from that location. So anyway, if we went to GMT, we could say, hey, Missouri, we're first in everything because everybody else is behind us. Because essentially...
Yeah, but we're also the show me state.
New York...
So that means that we're probably not on the cutting edge.
Of?
Everything.
Wow. Big controversy in Franklin County this morning.
You're going to just smooth right over that?
No, I am. Big controversy because Tim Brinker. Do you know who Tim Brinker is?
I do not know him personally, but I know of him.
He's the head county commission dude. There's 3 commissioners in Franklin County. And there's one who's like the head dude, and then they divide the county into half, and then one guy's one District 1, District 2. Apparently somebody called in one of the other radio stations and was calling him out because apparently the theater in Franklin County, which is shut down in Washington, they're trying to, or maybe this is the one in Union, not exactly sure which one. The guy's he bought a 40-foot inflatable screen and was going to give, movies in the parking lot for free. And supposedly Tim Brinker shut him down. But Tim said he didn't do that.
Why did he do that?
Well, he says he didn't do it. He said it was the local police chief and somebody from the state, because it still violates the 10. Here's what I don't understand about that. Okay, it's like the church thing, and we talked about that. Okay,
yes,
there was that church. I can't remember where it was, where the preacher went outside and set up himself like on a trailer or something like that, and the people were supposed to pull into the parking lot and be in their cars. So you figure 6 foot distancing. If you skip every other parking place, if you're sitting in your car, you probably got, most people have, 4 or 5 feet of hood in front of you and 4 or 5 feet of, tail on your car, rear end of your car. So if you're parking every other space, left or right, everybody's spaced out at 6 foot distance, right? No problem, right? Well, this was the one.
A minimal safe distance.
Right. This was the one where the police showed up and they went car to car and gave everybody tickets. You go scratch your head, go like, hold on a minute now. The only guy violating the 6 foot rule is the police officer. And think about that. If a police officer, let's say there's a warrant out for your arrest and you're walking down the street and the police recognize there's a warrant out for your arrest, could you say, don't come close to me. You're violating the 6 foot rule. Right?
I think that actually is something to be thought of.
Don't put those handcuffs on me. I don't want you touching me because you're violating the 6 foot rule.
By the way, do you know who I am?
I'll get you. Well, anyway, going back to this thing with Tim Breaker, supposedly he claims he didn't do this. He claims it was the state that shut him down and the city shut him down. Now, the interesting thing is, we'll talk about this as the morning goes on, the governor of Georgia, he's opening stuff up on Friday. As a matter of fact, it's sort of interesting what he's opening up. I mean, he's essentially opening up the gyms, nail salons, hair salons. I think we can find a whole list. It's pretty interesting what he's talking about doing. And let's see if we can find it. No, I can't find it. We'll talk about it later. But there's a whole thing about what he's doing to open up the state of Georgia. And, of course, our governor said, no, May 2nd, May 3rd, whatever the date is. And St. Louis City, St. Louis County have essentially said indefinite. And St. Charles County, we had Mike Elam on yesterday who essentially said, we're playing it by ear and we're pretty much doing what the governor says, which is May 2nd, May 3rd. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Deaths are way down. Number of infections are down. And I know there are people kind of like, well, we can't go back to normal because everybody will be sick. Who knows? Man, there's something I read this morning that talked about that they think that so many people have had the Charlie 19 virus and never had any symptoms. They're saying that in Los Angeles there could have been hundreds of thousands of people that have already had it and didn't have any results, any kind of physical reaction. Is that weird or what?
Did you hear that it was? I don't know what state it was or the city. But did you hear that they found a group of homeless people and they tested and over half of them had the virus, but they didn't have any symptoms?
Yeah, well, and there's another group they tested in St. Louis. They had the Larry Rice virus.
Shame. Shame on you.
Why? About what?
About Larry Rice. I think that he did a lot of good.
I'm telling you, he's a multimillionaire.
I know he's a multimillionaire. I never said that he wasn't rich, but he did a lot of good for his funds.
There's two different types of people in the world. There's the broke people that pretend they're rich, and there's the rich people that pretend they're broke. That's the two different kinds of people in the world. There's nobody else in between. You know what I mean? It's like everybody falls into one of those two categories.
Yeah, but he went down and he devoted his life to working with the actual poor that they have no home, and a lot of it is mental illness, and I know that. But he really did good things, and he wasn't. I'm going to just say his name. He wasn't like Creflo Dollar.
I love Creflo.
I don't like him.
Oh, Creflo's the man.
No, he is not the man. Because he said that. Well, I just won't even go into it. But ever since he said this comment, that if you don't talk in tongues, you're not going to heaven. I've never liked him since.
Well, Creflo, I mean, he had the right idea that, you had to have that big corporate jet to fly around, and so he could look out the window and bless people. I mean, I get that. I mean,
he is the epitome of what I don't like about televangelists.
I can't believe you're dissing my man Creflo Dollar.
Dude,
man,
deal with it, because that's just how I feel.
You know what?
I've always felt like that.
Creflo,
kind of got a problem with Joyce Myers as well, but that's a whole other issue.
And you know what? That's his real name, too. I started surprised at that. Creflo.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Creflo Augustus Dollar Jr. No, I'm sorry. sorry. He changed his name. His real name is Michael Smith. Okay, once again, there's like the exact opposite. Most people, like movie stars, like their name is like, Wenceslas Clockleklunk, or something like that, and they become Jim Dolan or something like that as a movie star. Here's a guy whose name is Michael Smith, and he changed his name to Creflo Augustus Dollar Jr., born January 28th, 1962, an American evangelist, rap artist, I didn't know that, and founder of the non-denominational World Changers Church International, based in College Park, Georgia, suburb of Atlanta. Dollar also heads the Creflo Dollar Ministerial Association, formerly called International Covenant Ministries, Creflo Dollar Ministries, and Arrow Records. Man, this guy gets around. I'm telling you. And here's what he does. Dollar's known for his controversial teachings regarding prosperity theology. This is what you talk about. What do you call it?
He's a prosperity church.
Okay. He has long been criticized for living a lavish lifestyle. He owns 2 Rolls Royces, a private jet, high-end real estate, such as a $1 million home in Atlanta, a $2.5 million home in Demarest, New Jersey, and a home in Manhattan that he bought for $2.5 million in 2005 and sold for $3.75 million in 2012. Hey, he's a capitalist. He's making money. Dollar has refused to disclose his salary for declining to disclose any financial information to independent audit. Creflo Dollar Ministries receives a grade of F for financial transparency by the organization Ministry Watch. Dollar was among 6 televangelists who were the subject of a 2007 investigation led by United States Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa as ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee. Grassley asked for financial information to determine whether Dollar made any personal profit from financial donations and requested that Dollar's ministry make the information available by December 6, 2007. The investigation also asked for information from 5 other televangelists. Benny Hinn, did you know who he is? You know who Benny Hinn is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Kenneth Copeland, we all know who he is.
Yes.
Eddie Long, Joyce Meyer, and Paula White.
I don't know. I don't know the one before or after Joyce Meyer.
Eddie Long and Paula White. Dollar contested in the probe, arguing that the proper governmental entity to examine religious groups is the IRS, not the Committee on Finance. Dollar and 3 others were not cooperative, and the probe concluded in 2012 without any charges. Okay,
Let me guess who the ones that didn't cooperate. Joyce Myers.
I don't know.
Creflo Dollar.
I don't know. You know what, though? I mean, come on. Here's the thing. In our industry...
This is a sore point with me. It really is.
Well, in our industry, in broadcasting, I'm telling you, there is so much money made in religious broadcasting. Do you know the number 1 format in St. Louis? The most number of stations in St. Louis, what format it is?
The God Squad.
Yeah, religion. There are more stations in St. Louis that run a religious format than any other format. Country.
Did you know that they got PPE?
Who did?
The churches were allowed to file for.
Oh, don't even tell me. That'll make me mad.
Well, don't be mad, but it's a reality. That's
and
what
by
I heard.
the way, Governor Como of New York, he's cutting in on my side on my side hustle. He's cut. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Well, he was on. He gives this daily. Here's the interesting thing. Trump gives a daily press, and whatever they call it, press party, whatever, daily update. And now CNN, well, we're not even covering anymore. We don't care. But yet they run Governor Como every day. And he's gotten the name of the Love Gov because he gets on there and he's like,
Love Gov.
Oh, yeah. And he gets on there.
Does he give like cyber hugs?
Well, no. He's on there and he's like, and he's like, okay,
think win-win.
We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So the other day, he declared that you can now get married legally in New York over video. So in other words, you can have like a Zoom wedding, so where you can, here's the bride over here in one city
that
or whatever.
Actually would be one for the record books.
Okay, but
to be married for 30, 40 years and say, when we got married in a pandemic.
So when
the whole country was shut down.
When he declared that this was legal, he said on television, and he looked right into the camera, and he said, because I'm the governor of New York, I can legally marry people in New York. So I'm available. Call me if you need me. And I'm going like, yeah, right. Like people are going to call up the governor of New York and go, hey, Andrew, can you marry me? Yeah, sure. You know, right? Like he's got nothing to do, sit around. But once again, he's horning in my business. You know, I'm a reverend.
He is, but yeah, he's promoting it on a grander scale than you are.
I have to tell you, this very station, man, we could turn this thing God Squad, and we could make some serious dollars on this radio station. And part of it is, the religious stations, they're exempt
What?
from all the
What?
FCC fees. They don't have to pay any of the FCC fees that we have to pay.
Yeah,
They don't
I know.
pay anything. I mean, like,
Oh, and we just got I know that. We just got a text from our favorite listener, and he says those people are going to hell.
who is?
Thrust into hell, actually, is what he said.
Who is?
Those evangelists.
I don't know who your person is, but who is he to say?
The most wanted man in St. Charles.
The most wanted man in St. Charles. Well, no, who is he to say? But it doesn't the Christian
Because
religion
he's
doesn't
kind
it,
of got an in with
but doesn't
the big man upstairs.
But doesn't the Christian religion state that you and I are not supposed to judge? It's the man upstairs that judges.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. He can still have his thoughts.
Creflo.
I mean,
Dollar.
I don't judge because that is between. You never know what's going in another person's pair of mismatched socks, and you just don't know what's going on with someone.
But
so, I don't judge because that's not my place.
See, you.
That's between them and their master.
I don't come under the classification of your mismatched socks because I've got that problem fixed.
That's because all you wear is white socks.
That's right. So they can't be mismatched. They're all the same.
Yes, one could be crew, one could be a little
Nope,
ankle sock, and the other one could be.
I bought them years ago. I bought like the 48 pack, and
you're still wearing them?
Oh yeah. Well, you don't, I mean they're good. They're good athletic socks. And I've worn some of them. I mean, Shelley, I got
Brad?
socks older than your daughter. Let me put it to you that way, okay?
I have socks older than my daughter.
It's 7:27. Westplex 107.1, Selena Gomez and Rare. It is 7:37, a Tuesday morning, 21st of April. Hard to believe it's that day already. Shelley, you there?
I am here.
Oh, you are there. I have the
Yes,
list.
I am.
This is from Georgia, the governor in Georgia. As of Friday, here are some of the businesses that open on Friday. Gyms and fitness centers, bowling alleys, barber and hair and nail salons, estheticians. I thought that was the same thing. Isn't an esthetician? What is an esthetician?
Completely different.
What does an esthetician do?
They're strictly skin and.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're skin.
Now, here's the other one. Body art studios. Is that like a tattoo place?
Parlors.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And like piercings and stuff like that, right? Okay, now, these are just some of the businesses that open on Friday. This is in the state of Georgia. Gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, body art studios, barbers, hair salon, nail salons, estheticians, theaters, and restaurants can open on April 27th. Bars, nightclubs, and music venues will remain closed for now. Now, here's the interesting part of what's going on in Georgia. No local ordinance can restrict the openings, which will be implemented statewide. All businesses that reopen must follow social distancing guidelines and screen employees for illness, the governor said. This is the governor Kemp of Georgia. Now, there's a very interesting statement right there. No local ordinance can restrict the openings because there's some little town in Georgia, like probably Washington, Georgia, go, no, we're not going to go along with that. We don't think
Isn't
that's
that
right.
where the devil went?
The devil went down to Georgia. Yeah, he was looking for a soul to steal, wasn't it? The devil went down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal.
Yes,
okay.
it was.
Right, okay. So what do you think of that? Do you think he's... I know there are people, and this came out yesterday, there were people that were just like, oh my God, this guy's terrible. He's going to kill everybody in Georgia. What do you think?
I don't think that he's going to kill everybody in Georgia. I do think that it's time for us to get back to a normal life, whatever that normal means now. And I think he's trying to be progressive.
I have to be honest with you. Something happened to me last night that was like one of those moments that I thought to myself, you know what? I would probably consider myself to be a resilient kind of guy. I've gone through crazy stuff in my life. Getting hit in my car by a tractor trailer, almost killed, and that I got out of the hospital at 3:00 in the morning, and at 9:00 that morning I was teaching a class. at a local university. I have to tell you, last night I did something that I said to myself, man, I have lost it. I have lost it. And it was one of those things where I got mad about something, and I thought that somebody had not done something for me they were supposed to do, and I fumed for about 15 minutes, and then I realized I was totally wrong. And I thought to myself, I have lost it. I'll tell you that next hour. It's sort of a weird story. Only me could tell this kind of story. As like, people will say things like, by the way, last break, we're talking about all the televangelists. Okay,
Yes.
So I know you do not like Joyce Myers. Okay?
I don't. She completely disappointed my mother, my dying mother. I will never forgive her for that.
Okay, we won't talk about that. Okay, here's the paragraph from Wikipedia on Joyce Meyer. Conversion and ministry. Meyer also reports that she was praying intensely while driving to work one morning in 1976 when she said she heard God call her name. She had been born again at age 9, but her unhappiness drove her deeper into her faith. She says that she came home later that day from a beauty appointment, quote, full of liquid love, and was, quote, drunk with the Spirit of God that night while at the local bowling alley. Now, only in St. Louis could that. I mean, when think about it. I mean, okay, let's put the components in there. She was driving. She was she was praying intensely. She came home from a beauty appointment. She got her hair done, and she felt that she was full of liquid love. And then she went to the bowling alley that night, and she determined she was drunk with the Spirit of God. That is what my problem is. I don't go to the beauty, I don't go to a beauty appointment, and I don't go bowling anymore. I'm telling you, but right now, I can't be reborn because you can't go to the, to the beauty appointments, you can't go to the beauty shop, and you can't go bowling, right?
Yeah, but you can always go on the video stream from Chris Highfield, Grace River Church.
Oh, he has a bowling alley, this church now?
I'm like, does he? No, he does not.
That's what, see.
But that doesn't matter. What does matter is that when you talk to him, he relates to you. He doesn't judge you. He just is Chris Highfield.
But here's the important thing. Can he get me full of liquid love?
I don't know what that means, but I gather it means that she was drunk as a skunk.
She said she was full of liquid love and was drunk with the Spirit of God.
Uh-huh. She was drunk.
Can you imagine getting pulled over and the cop says, have you been drinking? Yes. Yes, officer.
I'm incarcerated. Are you inebriated? No, I'm just drunk with the Spirit of God.
I got so much liquid love in me, it's just spilling out of me. I'm telling you, that's why I threw up on you, officer, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And it'll come out of your clothes and your shoes. Right. All they need to do is to be buffed.
God. I mean, I have to tell you, there are times when I have really thought to myself, and nothing against Chris Highfield, he's a great guy, but I'm thinking to myself,
he is.
I'm doing the wrong thing with my life, And I'd have people who would say, well, you're not a very religious guy. I go, okay. And the problem with that is, there's like a test. If you, on the religious scale of 1 to 10, you have to be at least a 5,
Chris is not a religious man. He's a man of God, though. And as far as Joyce Meyer goes, I'm sitting here thinking, I was completely judging her, and I don't mean to do that because truly I do believe that the way she is between her and God.
I met her once.
I've met her once as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think your meeting went well, right?
Well, this was more of a situation.
Okay, we won't go there. We'll leave it alone. 744. Westplex 107.1. It is BS in the Morning. I am Shelley. She is Brad. Our website is bsinthemorning.show. Okay, I'm going to do an impression. Tell me who I am, okay?
Okay.
I had a dream that you were in my dreams. Who am I?
I had a dream and you were in my dream?
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to talk like this person. I'm going to talk like this. Hi, Shelley. How are you doing today? Who am I?
Bob Ross?
Billie Eilish. I'm Billie Eilish.
I don't know that.
Every song she does like this. Hi, I'm Billie Eilish. I'm going to sing you a song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Is she an NPR wannabe?
No, shit. Do you don't know who Billie Eilish is?
I do know who Billie Eilish. I was kidding.
No, okay. And it's funny. I heard a guy in another station say, if you meet Billie Eilish in person, you can't talk. You have to whisper to her, "Hi, Billie. It's great to meet you." Every song, it's the same. It's like, "I'm Billie Eilish."
That's her trend. That's her vibe.
God. I have to tell you, pop music, which we play a lot of here, top 40, whatever you want to call what we play, has really gotten into sort of an interesting trend. Do you remember way back in the day, there used to be stuff called bubblegum music? Remember bubblegum?
I do.
And it was like really...
And we play some of those songs.
It was like... Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's one that's come out that we just started play the other day. Maybe I'll play it next hour. And it's by this lady, and I still am not exactly sure how to say her name. It's spelled, but it's all in capital letters, Benee. I think it's Benee or Benny or something like that. Anyway, do you know what auto-tune is?
I do. Didn't they do auto-tune on Britney Spears?
Well, auto-tune is this, and actually it's sort of interesting if you know the history of auto-tune. It was developed by a guy, and I think this is the true story. I'll have to look it up again. It was developed by a guy who was a geologist who was trying to figure out how to better find oil. And he came up with some kind of a circuit or something like that they could put like sound waves into the ground and they could figure out if there were like oil deposits down there or something like that. Anyway, it turned into this thing where if you sing off key like me, I can put this little, it used to be actually a piece of equipment. Now you can get like a plug-in. You can put like into your, digital workstation, like we're using Adobe Audition. And, the big one is everybody's using is all the recording studios are using these plug-ins. And you can take someone's voice that's way off key and you can make it sound like right on key. Now, you can take it to the extreme and make it sound sort of funky, like the original auto-tune song was the Cher, "Do You Believe?" Do you believe in love? Where she goes, and she does it one line like that, where it's like sort of
weird. That's what they did to Britney Spears' first song.
Well, okay. This new song, and it's called...
I'm sorry, we don't want to talk about that.
Super Lonely. Supalonely. I'll play it next hour.
Why is everybody lonely now?
I don't know. She's called Super Lonely.
Super.
And super lonely. It's one word. It's not two words. It's super lonely. And this lady's from Auckland, New Zealand, and I've got good hearing. I can hear things that other people can't hear because it's what I do.
You have a gift, yes.
It's what my entire life. I listen to stuff all day long, and I in the studio, and we're on the air, and I can pick up things. I swear the entire song is auto-tuned, and I don't think she can sing. I think it's just one of these things that I can hear in the studio. Okay, yeah, Benny, yeah, just get close to the notes. Don't worry about hitting the notes. We'll fix it up in post-production. Yeah, we'll run you through auto-tune, and nobody will ever know you can't sing. Because the entire song, it has this, there's a digital, how do I put this? There's a digital signature that you can hear with certain plugins and things like that. In other words, if you plug a microphone into a piece of equipment and you talk into it with no processing, no, thing, it has a certain sound to it. It has a natural sound to it. But when you start like compressing it and auto-tuning it, it gets to the point where it has like a digital signature to it. Does that make any sense?
It does.
And I swear the entire song is like, okay, she can't sing. It's all auto-tuned. And it's like to the point where the song is so saccharine sweet. It's to the point where it's like, okay, this is like the 1910 Fruit Gum Company all over again. You know what I mean? And you don't even know what the 1910 Fruit Gum Company is, do you?
I do not.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you don't know. How about the Archies? You ever heard of the Archies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's sort of like, like the bubblegum stuff. Like, yeah. Da, 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 da. Oh, honey. I mean, it's so like over the top, like, hey, we're cutesy poo, music. Yeah, we put a smile on your face. And it's so sweet that you'll have a sugar hangover in an hour after you listen to our music. That kind of a thing, Anyway, I'll play it next
You'll
hour.
be with that liquid courage. Or what did she say? Liquid.
You're going back to that.
Yeah.
You're going back to Joyce Meyer.
Hey, man, I hold a grudge.
Let me pull it up again. Here,
I don't judge.
Here's
but
the
I do
quote.
hold a grudge, especially when it's about my mom.
Okay, here, I'll read the whole paragraph again. And I'm not making fun of her. I just thought this was an interesting paragraph. Meyer also reports, this is Joyce Meyer. Meyer also reports that she was praying intensely while driving to work one morning in 1976 when she said she heard God call her name. She had been born again at age 9, but her unhappiness drove her deeper into her faith. She says that she came home later that day from a beauty appointment, quote, full of liquid love, unquote, and was, quote, drunk with the Spirit of God, unquote, that night while at the local bowling alley. Man, I'm telling you, that's my problem. That's my problem. First off, I don't drive to work because, because we don't, that's the crazy
All
thing
your
about
cars are broken.
my cars are all broke. You're right. my one car, it's got
Okay, it's not funny, but it's
got
a little funny.
It's got a special transmission in it. No matter what gear you put it in, it does the same thing. Nothing. It just sits there and the engine revs. You can put it in reverse and it does nothing. You can put it in drive, low 2, low 1, and it does nothing. Matter of fact, all the gears are just like park and neutral. Yeah, that's one of my cars. And then the other one is crunched. By the way, I think I'm going to sell that one. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. It's
Really?
time. Yeah, I think it's time. It's come. It's 8 o'clock. Westplex 107.1. Yes. What we're doing right now is it's the DJ Radiation's on the radio right now. I am DJ Radiation. And I'm emitting that electricity through the airwaves to you to put you in the proper frame of mind. What do you think?
I think that's about right.
Last time I didn't have you on for a minute. Last time I didn't have your electricity on. Last time I did that on the air, I actually had a call from someone saying, "Are you okay? Are you losing it?" Yes, I'm losing it. Okay. Here's the song I'm talking about. I'm going to play this. And I don't know how you pronounce this lady's name. Benee, Benee, Benet, Beanie. I don't know. Okay, this is the one. This is a new song. And we started playing it. And I want you to listen to it. And I want you to give me your opinion, okay? It's called Super Lonely. Supalonely. Super Lonely. You ready?
I'm ready.
Westplex 107.1. Okay, Shelley, what do you think?
I actually think I like that song.
Super Lonely, but do you hear what I'm saying about it? Sounds like her whole vocal track's been auto-tuned. You can hear it in some of the things. It sounds like doesn't sound quite right. Sounds like sort of spaceman kind of stuff.
You have that.
But
it's a gift. It's
no,
like
it's a curse.
The person that can smell everything.
I can't smell everything. I have diminished sense of smell.
But you can hear everything. That's what you do.
Well,
and that's a gift. Not everybody has that.
But
I personally do not.
Don't you think it's sort of over the top, sugary sweet kind of song?
No, I thought it was. It had a lovely beat. I tried to listen to the music. It's the lyrics itself, and they weren't bad. But I liked the beat. It made me feel good. It made me tap my toes. That's what we want.
Did you hear my edits?
No.
she drops the F-bomb about 8 times.
She does not.
Yeah, I swear to God. Listen to here. Go online. Hold on. Okay, I'll play the very beginning. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I'll just play the beginning and the first thing out of her mouth. Ready? Here we go. Oh, come on. It's not going to work. Where is it? Nah. Hold on a minute. My computer. Oh, I had to re-rack. Okay, here we go. Okay, coming up in 4 seconds from right now. Did you hear it?
I did. I really did. Now that you pointed it out,
there's my first edit. Yes, her second word is the F-bomb. So then she says
no wonder I liked
and
her.
then she says it a bunch more times in the song, and then she also B-bombs the song, and then the guy who comes in at the end of the song. Guess what his name is? He has the coolest name.
Chuck?
No, his name is Gus Dapperton. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, right. That's his real name, Gus Dapperton. Who names their kid Gus Dapperton? Dapper. Let me see if he's on Wikipedia. And once again, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I won't say it. I know I'll get in trouble for saying it.
Well, then don't say it.
Oh, yeah. His real name is, I love these things, Brendan Patrick Rice, better known by his stage name as Gus Dapperton. Here, hold on. Let me bring this up. Is And here I'm looking at him, and he's wearing pink clothes, and he has blue hair. So, like, he's not a member of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Let's put it that way.
No, he's trending.
Yeah, born in Warwick, New York. Better known by his stage name as Gus Dapperton, is an American singer and songwriter. So,
does he have colored hair? Did you say?
Yeah, he has blue hair. Well, in this, there's a picture of him.
Do you know that you can't use? You know how people dye their hair those funny colors,
right?
If you use Kool-Aid, it will never come out.
That's not true.
Your hair will just have to grow out, and you have to end up cutting it.
Because that way, if people want to call, rather than going to the store and buy hair color for like $15 or $20, you just go buy the Kool-Aid thing and stick it in your hair, right?
That's true.
Hey,
that's what people are doing.
Well, so in other words, you're telling me if I go to the store and if I want to change my hair to brown, I just go buy the Kool-Aid.
There's no brown Kool-Aid.
Yeah, the root beer Kool-Aid. I just go buy the root beer Kool-Aid and I just mix it up and put it in my hair, and I have brown hair for the rest of my life.
They have root beer Kool-Aid?
Oh man, have you never had root beer Kool-Aid before?
I've never had root beer Kool-Aid.
My God, it's the best. Joyce Meyer serves it at her church.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get myself in trouble for that.
Oh, look, 814.
No, hold it. Here, it's Gus Dapperton. Dapperton has received some attention for his unique fashion style, consisting at some points of a green bowl cut, noticeable jewelry, eyeliner, particularly bright-colored clothing, and thick-rimmed glasses. Once again, I don't get this thick-rimmed glasses deal. I told you there's that one lady that I've seen who's a doctor, an MD, and she looks like she's, very exotic looking. She looks like Asian or something like that, or part Asian and part, Iranian or something like that, deep complected black hair. And she's got these goofy, stupid glasses on that make her look like, even guys that work in factories don't wear ugly safety glasses like that anymore. You know what I mean? Safety glasses have gotten cool looking. If you work in factories, they're the wraparound kind of glasses. I mean, why do women wear those goofy, stupid looking glasses? I don't get it. I mean, as a guy who started wearing glasses when he was 5 and was stuck wearing glasses, most of my life and hated every moment of it, it's to the point where why do you think I volunteered to have screwed up LASIK, which made me blind in one eye? Because at least I don't have to wear glasses anymore. Why would people want to wear? I don't get it. I don't get it
either. But I do get it because I'm actually contemplating getting glasses.
What?
I know I need them, but
you need
I've always needed them to drive, but I've never really worn them.
You need the Gus Dapperton look. That's what you need.
Dude, I have glasses from the 80s. They are huge.
They're back in style,
half
right?
my face,
yeah,
and I'm going to get them prescriptionized.
Oh, they're back in style, right?
They are back in style. Okay. And they're from the 80s.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to get in trouble for saying it, but why don't we have hunky guys anymore? Why are all the guys looking like Gus Dapperton, where it says his received unique fashion style consisting of some points of a green bowl cut, noticeable jewelry, eyeliner, particularly brightly colored clothing, and thick rimmed glasses? Okay, what happened to like the guys you see in the construction sites, because there used to be calendars like that, for women. They'd have calendars of remember the firefighter calendars, which were real big for a while. You know what I'm talking about? And, all the beefy looking, the beefcake guys with the big old bulging biceps and, hey, I'm a firefighter. You don't see those anymore. It's like all Gus Dapperton. It's like, okay, how can we color our hair and how can we wear, brightly colored, get a bowl cut and stuff like that? Oh, God. I don't get it, The real men.
You just don't get it, dude.
The real men are out there working construction. The real men are up there in a bucket truck, hooking up your electricity or driving that Cat D9. Those are the real men. Or like the Caleb Hunters of the world, driving his truck around, getting out with tools and fixing things and putting electric meters on the side of your house and putting new boxes in your basement with circuit breakers in it. Those are the real men, don't you think?
You just go with that.
I get myself in trouble for that. Okay.
Yes.
Next break, I was behind someone Well, I did a double drive-through yesterday. Lunch was at a drive-through, dinner was at a drive-through, and that was where I had my breakdown with my dinner last night. But I was behind a lady in a car. I love personalized license plates. I was behind hers, and I put this on my Facebook page, and I think I know what she was saying with her Missouri personalized license plate, but we'll talk about it next break, and we'll let Shelley...
Are we going to talk about the aha moment that you had?
Yeah, that was at a drive-through. I had two aha movements. Yesterday for lunch, I had an aha moment in a drive-through when I thought to myself, oh, I know what her license plate means. And then I had the one last night. So we'll talk about that. 8:18.
Okay.
Westplex 107.1. If I turn the right microphone on, it might work. It is BS in the morning. See, that's another one of those bouncy songs. It's like the new kind of trend in pop music. See, it's like Lady Gaga, and then it's like Benny or whatever her name is here. Hold on a minute. Let's play this one again.
I think it's probably Benet.
Benee, Benee.
Yeah.
You know what her real name is?
Carla.
Stella.
Oh my God, people call me Stella.
That's her real first name, Stella.
People can't remember Shelley, so they call me Stella.
Stella Rose Bennett. Okay, so change subject. I'm in a drive-through yesterday for lunch. I live my life in drive-throughs. By the way, we got to talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about the governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster. This guy is a rock star, man. He looks like he's 80 years old, wears a mullet.
Good for him.
Maybe he just they couldn't find any hair places that were open to get a haircut because he closed them all down in his state. But anyway, okay. So I'm in a drive-through yesterday. I'll try to stay on track. Trust me. I'll try real hard. I'm in a drive-through yesterday, and I love personalized license plates. And I personally have had breast cancer awareness plates. And I think I showed them to you once. I used to have them on one of my cars.
I used to have breast cancer awareness plates as well.
And I paid the extra money, and it went to, breast cancer research and stuff like that. And I actually had a guy come up to me and say one time driving this car, "Is that your wife's car, dude?" I go, "No." And he said to me, I swear to God, he says, "Real men don't drive cars with breast cancer awareness plates." And I looked at him and I said, "Real men do, because we appreciate women and we try to help them out wherever we can." And the guy got mad at me. Honest to God, true story. Okay, so I'm in a drive-thru yesterday.
He didn't clock you.
Yeah, it punched me out. Yeah, well, real men get punched in the face like you. Boom. Yeah.
Let me show you a real man.
Right, yeah. Here, let me show you my real fist. Boom. Okay, so I'm in a drive-thru and I'm behind a car, and it's got breast cancer awareness plates. And write this down, okay?
Okay.
The license plate number is the number 4 DATTS. So this is Missouri personalized license plate, breast cancer awareness. Got the pink on the bottom. Got the little, the folded ribbon on the side. 4DA, and the number 4DATTS. I think I know what it says. What do you think?
No, that's not what I thought.
It's on a breast cancer awareness plate. Think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute.
It's kind of like Save the Tatas, but
yeah, for the Tatas. I think that's what it is. Isn't that what it is? 4DATTS? For the Tatas.
For the Tatas. Aww. Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
I think you're right.
I'm thinking to myself, now hold on a minute now. Because when you apply for a license plate in the state of Missouri, personalized plate, now you have to write down why you're requesting that. In other words, you have to give an explanation so you don't try to sneak one past them. You know what I mean? Like you put something on there that, whoa, we didn't know that's what you meant. That kind of a thing. Just like the problem I had with, and by the way, I'm so upset. One of the problems with the shutdown of the government is right now?
What?
My crap license plates are in the DOR office in Jefferson City, and I can't get them. Because they're closed. I can't go down to Jefferson City and get my KRAP license plates. I told the story that our AM station, our counterpart we're on right now, the call letters of it are legitimately KRAP. And when I applied for that, I put this down on the explanation, and I had 3 phone calls from Jefferson City. Okay, explain to us, you want crap? Yes, I do. Well, and then the one guy called me and he says, well, we could issue that if it was an amateur radio plate. I go, no, this is not amateur. This is professional. And he kept saying, what do you mean it's professional? I go, well, this is a radio station. He goes, well, the FCC wouldn't, swear to God, this is what the guy said, the FCC wouldn't issue those call letters. I go, but they did, and I have them. So at one point in time, I actually had to send him a copy of my FCC license. And then one time when I got them renewed, they gave me grief on renewing, and I took a picture of the truck, which has got KRAP all over it, matter of fact, and sent it down there. So anyway, how did she get this far to Tatas? How'd she get that passed? They let that one slide?
Because it could have just been 4 dots.
Yeah.
4 dots.
Yeah, but if she honestly, if that's what she was intending, she had to say that, right? Right?
I don't know the answer to that question. She could have had them for years.
I don't know. I thought they were cool. I'm thinking to myself, I like personalized license plates. Missouri, here's where Missouri's screwing up. If Missouri wants more tax revenue, they should say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Personalized license plates or whatever they are, it's like $15 plus you have to pay. Like if it's like breast cancer, I think those are $35, which goes to the breast cancer people. They should say, we're going to open up 7-digit plates, and those are $100. 8-digit plates are $1,000.
I've never seen a 8-digit plate. I have seen 7.
Yeah, Illinois has 7. A lot of states have 7, but 8. But see, what they're doing is like with the personalized plates. If you look at like the letters on, if you compare a personalized plate to a regular plate, the letters are smaller, so they can squeeze a heck of a lot more on there with personalized plates. With just regular plates, they can only get 6 numbers on there because you got to stick the little tab in the middle. But on the personalized plates, the tab goes on the corner. So you don't have to worry about spacing and stuff like that. And see, for example, on her plate, with that personalized plate, she's got the breast cancer awareness ribbon over on the left side, and they still got 6 digits on there, and they could probably squeeze a 7th in there.
No, they won't do that.
I know they won't.
They won't do that on any personalized plate that has a emblem.
Well, that's why they did it, because they made the letter smaller, because they could stick the emblem on the left side. That's how you get six digits plus the emblem on the left side. They made the letters smaller, but all of them are smaller. It didn't used to be that way. When they first started doing the current personalized license plates, they were, and see, that's the other difference. See, I'm a real nerd on this. The regular,
yes, you are,
the
Brett,
regular license
nerd.
plates, the regular license plates have the numbers embossed, but on the personalized plates, they don't. They're just painted on there.
That is true.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. So And did you know that if you take your license plate off your car and you hold it up to the light, you can see MO in little tiny little engravings, like little tiny laser holes in the license plate?
That's a big fat lie.
No, it's true. Take your license plate off.
No, that one's not true because I've tried that.
Hold it up to the sun and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, what can I say?
Do you know if you take personalized license plates off your car and if you drive it at 70 mile an hour speed down Interstate 70, and you turn it a certain way, it sings God Bless America?
Oh, look, it's 8:30.
Westplex 107.1. Yes. It is BS in the morning. Positive waves emanating from your radio, emanating from your Alexa smart speaker, which sounds better right now because Shelley went and tweaked it. 8:38.
Oopsie.
It is a Tuesday morning. Okay, so we're all going through stress, right? Some of us more than others.
Yes, we are.
Okay, last night I had this come to you-know-who meeting when it's sort of like Joyce Myers talking about how she drove home from work one day and she felt that liquid love in her body. And I realized that I'd lost it last night. I went to eat, went out, I'm Mr. Drive-Thru now. I always was Mr. Drive-Thru, but now that's my only choice. You can't go in and sit down anymore. And I went to the chicken place. You know what I'm talking about. Not KFC.
Yeah, I do.
Not, what I'm talking about.
I do. The one that's the only thing they serve.
Yeah. Well, that's KFC and that's Cane's as well too. But this is the the one with
other chicken places not open on Sunday.
Yeah, this is a matter of fact. I've had real terrible service at this place on Sunday. I sat in the drive-thru forever and they never waited on me. It's just to the point where it's like God, this service sucks, and I just pulled out and left and went somewhere else. Okay,
1 star for you.
Right. So I don't normally go there because I think it's overpriced, and I got 3 chicken fingers and French fries and a soda, and with tax it was like $8.31. And I thought to myself, I could have driven through McDonald's and had 8 hamburgers, or 8 McChickens, or 4 hamburgers and 4 McChickens, and spent the same amount of money. So when they ask you at the, because they I don't know where they get these people from. I think they're aliens, this place and Culver's, which like has like the All-American Kids. Hi, we're so glad you're here. What can I help you with? It's like normally you go to like Burger King. Yeah, what you want? That kind of stuff. Anyway.
I do know.
So I drive through the chicken place. And the lady asks, they ask at the little speaker, they say, would you like any condiments with that? And I said, yes, I'd like salt and pepper and barbecue sauce. Okay, so I pull up, nice young lady. She hands me my drink, and I put it down in my little cup holder in my truck. And I didn't realize it, but she handed me another bag. Okay, and this is key to the story. And I'm like, I don't know where I was. I was zoned out. I mean, I'm in an outer space or something like that. And then a couple minutes goes by. Well, not a couple minutes, like maybe a minute. And they gave me my bag with my chicken strips in it and my cross-cut, waffle-cut French fries, okay? So I'm in a place where, I'm sitting in my truck eating. So I go across the street, and there's a parking lot, a store that's closed because everybody's shut down. And I said, okay, I'll eat my dinner here. So I open up my bag, and there's my waffle-cut French fries, and there's my box of, chicken strips, and there's no salt and pepper and no barbecue sauce. And I'm going like, ugh, I asked her for that, and I didn't get it. And I'm sitting there thinking I'm mad. I'm going like, well, am I going to go back through the drive-thru? Because you can't go in. And I look across the street, and, like there's cars out the wazoo. I go, no, I'll just eat my chicken with no barbecue sauce and no salt and pepper. So I sit there, and I'm eating, and I'm like not happy. I'm like, this sucks. I ordered barbecue sauce and salt and pepper, and I didn't get it. And I'm eating my chicken with no barbecue sauce, and it's $8, and I could have had 8 hamburgers at McDonald's, and the chicken's okay, but, nothing great. And the waffle French fries weren't, they were okay, nothing great. So I'm picking up my trash off the front seat as I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm still ticked off. I see another bag on the front seat of the car, and guess what's in the other bag?
That would be your condiments and your salt and pepper.
My salt and pepper and my barbecue sauce. And I thought to myself, I have officially lost it because that lady handed me my drink and that little bag before I got my big bag with my chicken and my French fries. And I'm thinking to myself, I put it in my hand. I held it in my hand, drink in left hand, little bag with condiments in right hand. I put the drink in the in the cup holder in the console of my truck.
Is that like the lime and the coconut?
And I put the bag with the salt and pepper and barbecue sauce on the seat next to me, and I never remember doing it. And it wasn't until I'm sitting there and I'm like ticked the entire time. And halfway, I eat one of the chicken strips. I'm going like, man, it would sure taste better with barbecue sauce. And I'm going to go get back in line. I go, no, there's 42 cars in line. I'm not going. God, how bad is that?
With all due respect,
yeah,
it's not like you don't have the weight of the world on your shoulders.
No, but it's like I'm going like, man, I'm
it only takes
I'm losing it.
A little something that has nothing to do with the things that you're going through to set you off.
No, wait, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, how stupid am I getting? You know what I mean? I mean, like, and like it ruined my, first off, I was mad at her, and I'll admit, 1,000% my fault. I'm sitting there in the parking lot eating my chicken with no barbecues going, why did you give me my stuff? And then I realized I'm the stupid jerk. I screwed up. Once again, it was like a life lesson. I'm going like, okay, first off, why do you get mad at people? You shouldn't, even if people screw up, it's like, if that's the worst thing that happens to me all day, I didn't get hit by a tractor trailer. I didn't get shot. I didn't get hit by a lightning bolt. I didn't have a heart attack. I didn't find out I had cancer. You know what I mean? I mean, like, hey, life's good. I didn't get my barbecue sauce and salt and pepper at the drive-thru. Life's great. What more could there be? It's great. And it made me sort of think, you know what? It's and you know what though? Can you imagine? And I'm not saying that would have been me, but But there are people who would have like walked up to the window. Hey, you didn't give me my barbecue sauce and my salt and pepper.
Bam, bam on the
Right.
door.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, let me in. You didn't give me barbecue. And then they say, but sir, we gave you that little bag. Matter of fact, it's right there in the front seat of your truck. Oh, well, you must have just thrown that there. There's those kind of guys.
I think that you should not should on yourself. And like I should have, would have, could have, I think that, and I think that you need to be, give yourself some grace.
Okay.
Brad, because there are people that are losing their stuffings, and quite frankly, I am.
Well, it's just one of those weird things where
it is.
And you know what? And every day it gets more because I talk about here in the air, and I've had people comment, and they'll go like, "What are you doing out driving around? Why are you doing that? Why are you outside? Why are you exposing yourself? How do you know you're not? You don't have the Charlie 19 virus?" And I'm going, I don't know. I mean, like, I think, quite honestly, when this whole thing's over, I think they already had this thing in L.A. where they said there's like, I think 100,000 people they estimate that there are 100,000 people that have had it in L.A. and never knew it. Because, that's just like sort of basic, medical kind of stuff. There are people that get certain, viruses and diseases and stuff like that, and, communicable kind of stuff, and they never know it. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's like every year, and this whole crazy thing that we're talking about, like the herd immunity, that's part of that. That as we are exposing each other to it, that we start to get the creepy crud, and it doesn't, and it's interesting. I heard somebody yesterday, I heard a doctor go through this whole thing, talked about, the vulnerable people are people, and you're going to like this, smokers. He said that
I'm not a smoker anymore.
Well, you vape or whatever the heck that weird stuff is. He said that those people.
I will say that. Oh, I won't say that.
Well, but he said that there are predispositions to getting the Charlie 19 and other ones as well too. That that smokers. They went through the whole list. People who are over the age of 60, people who already have a compromised immune system. And people who already have other life-threatening diseases. We talked about this the other day, that when one press conference, they asked Dr. Birx, if someone comes into the hospital and they're having a heart attack, but yet they, they give them the test and they find out they have the Charlie 19 and they die, what did they die of? And she said, the Charlie 19. And, the question was like, okay, but they were having a heart attack. Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference. They died of the virus. Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that really doesn't make
That's like saying, if you're out on the highway, and you're changing your tire, and a tractor trailer comes by and crushes you, while you're changing your tire, that someone would say, yeah, well, he died changing his tire. Yeah, he was changing his tire, but he got hit by a tractor trailer. You know what I mean? It's to the point where he didn't die by changing his tire. He died by the fact that the tractor trailer ran over him. You know what I'm saying? Is that weird, or is that what? Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense.
Whatever. Okay. Hey, time for a break.
Okay.
Time to hear from Tim Brinker. It's 8:48. Westplex 107.1 and Aaron Burr. Yes, and no relation to Raymond Burr. Actually,
I was just thinking that. Ironside.
No, actually, that's Leslie Odom Jr., who played Aaron Burr on Broadway, the original Aaron Burr in the Hamilton, which Shelley had never heard of before. And
I never have.
And it got me to read the Aaron Burr story, okay? And I read History of Aaron Burr. And all I can tell you is that if you think we have some character politicians now, if you think we have like Trump, who's everybody thinks is insane and nuts and crazy, Trump is like a choir boy compared to some of these founding fathers. Aaron Burr is like crazy man. If you read his biography, if you get a chance sometime, read the biography. It's off the charts. Matter of fact, he killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel. He killed him, shot him, dead.
Really?
Yeah, that's and I mean, there's a whole story behind it. And he was tried for treason several times, and then he was married, and he was divorced, and supposedly he adopted all these kids, and then he went to England and fathered a bunch of other kids out of wedlock with all these women. I'm going like, dude, whoa, who is this guy? I mean, he makes the rappers seem like like church mice. You know what I mean? I mean, like,
I do.
Like, this is one of our founding fathers. It's like, remember, it was about a month or so ago when we talked about Charles Lindbergh and all the crazy antics that Charles Lindbergh was involved in his life.
Absolutely.
Before World War II, Charles Lindbergh was in favor of Hitler. He came out and said, "Yeah, well, I like Germany. I like Hitler." And then he got stripped of his. He was actually in the Army Air Corps, and President Roosevelt took his commission away from him, kicked him out of the Army Air Corps. And then after World War II, he did all sorts of stuff. And then supposedly in his 60s, he was taking all these trips to Europe. Why was he taking trips? Because he had all these ladies over there that he was, shall we say, getting personal with them. And they had all these kids of his that nobody ever knew about. It's like, that's Charles Lindbergh? Once again, to the point where, like all these schools around the country going like, well, our school's the Robert E. Lee School. We're going to change our name because Robert E. Lee was a Confederate general. You know what I mean? Okay. Hey, how about Lindbergh School District? Guess who that's named after? Charles Lindbergh. I mean, think about that for a minute. Change the name of that school district. Lindbergh, the road here in St. Louis. Guess who that's named after? Charles Lindbergh, the dude who went over to Europe when he was in his 60s and had, all these affairs with women and had all these kids that nobody knew about. Yes, that's the guy who...
That's not for us to judge, though, him.
Yeah,
that's between him and his...
But it's okay that we tear down a Confederate, a memorial in Forest Park and tear them down all over the country, and we change the name of Robert E. Lee Schools to, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to be honest, that I didn't agree with that at all.
Here's the thing that bothers me. I've talked about this before, and I get easily bothered. But what bothers me about this, all the goofy buildings they name for politicians, okay? Don't name them after politicians. Name them after men and women who have given their lives in service for our country. The fighters, the infantry guys, the guys who've got killed in Iraq and in Afghanistan and Vietnam. I mean, that's the places. Now, the one thing that I like about this, they're starting to do that. Well, they've been doing it for a while. They've got the memorials on the highways, and some of the post offices have been named after after some of our fallen heroes as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't name it the Thomas Eagleton Building. Name it the whoever was a hero in this war, and once again give the recognition to the little guys, not the stupid politicians that raised gazillion dollars. Can you imagine the Nancy Pelosi building? No, thank you.
I don't think there's a lot of people that could imagine that.
Or even the Matt Blunt building, Okay, no thanks. Don't need a Matt Blunt building.
And Trump already has buildings.
Yeah.
Building.
Yeah, but see, he paid to have his name on those buildings because he bought them.
Yeah,
so
he did.
That's different. Okay, last break. And then, I tell you what, let's just call it quits right now. We're done. This is going to do for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Shelley will be here to say more stupid things. And no, actually, I got that bad. Shelley will say the intelligent things. Brad will talk about how he didn't realize he had his barbecue sauce and salt and pepper, and he's mad at the lady at the chicken place for he's sitting in the parking lot across the street. She didn't give me my barbecue sauce and my salt and pepper, and it was sitting right next to him in the seat of his car.
Take a break, Brad. Give yourself some grace.
9 o'clock.